Welcome back to Women of Worth, the podcast where we empower each other to face life's challenges and turn setbacks into comebacks. Today, we're diving into a topic that's so universal yet deeply personal: failure. Let's be honest, failure hurts. It can shake your confidence, make you question your decisions, and leave you feeling stuck. But here's the truth: failure doesn't define you. In fact, it's one of life's greatest teachers. In this episode, we'll explore why failure happens, how to cope with the pain, and practical steps to rebuild and thrive. Plus, we'll share real-life examples to inspire you to turn failure into an opportunity for growth. If you've ever felt defeated by a setback or caught in a cycle of self-doubt, this episode is for you. And before we jump in, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and tap the notification bell so you never miss an episode. We'd love to hear your thoughts. What's a failure you've turned into a success? Share your story in the comments below. Let's learn and grow together. Now, let's dive into the steps to overcome failure, rebuild your confidence, and rediscover your purpose.
All right, so let's dive into something I think we all experience, but don't always love talking about failure.
It's a universal truth, isn't it?
It is, yeah. But it often feels like it hits women harder, especially when we're trying to, excel in our careers, be there for our families, contribute to our communities. It's like there's this pressure to just effortlessly juggle it all, right?
What's so interesting is that many of the sources that we're looking at for this deep dive highlight this exact tension.
Oh, wow.
One even uses the phrase, the myth of having it all.
Right.
And that myth can be a real trap when it comes to how we view our setbacks.
Okay, so that's exactly what we're going to unpack today.
Yeah.
Why failure can feel so intense for women, and then explore how to not just bounce back,
right,
but actually use those experiences to move forward.
Yeah.
We've got some incredible real-life stories and practical strategies in these sources.
Absolutely.
That I think are going to really resonate with everyone listening.
One thing that really jumps out from these sources is that emotional weight of failure.
Yeah.
It's not just about practical consequences. It's how it makes us feel about ourselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One source tells the story of Mona, who missed out on a leadership opportunity. And it really shook her.
Oh, wow.
She started to question her qualifications.
Yeah.
Even though she had a proven track record, it was like the failure made her doubt her entire journey.
That's so relatable.
Isn't it?
And it speaks to a point made in another source.
Okay.
Failure often triggers this cascade of painful emotions, right?
Yeah.
Fear of judgment, feeling out of control.
Right.
Hit to our confidence.
Yeah, and I think, especially for women,
I think so too.
these feelings are often amplified by societal expectations.
Absolutely.
You're right. One source actually calls out the pressure on women to be both nurturing and ambitious, but not too ambitious. It's like we're constantly navigating this tightrope between being seen as competent, but also likable.
It's this unspoken rule book, right?
Totally.
That can make even small setbacks feel like massive personal failings.
So how do we even define failure?
Yeah.
Is it simply not achieving a specific goal? Or is there a more nuanced way to look at it?
Well, one source defines it as any time our efforts don't lead to the desired outcome.
Interesting.
And I think that's powerful because it shifts the focus away from this kind of binary success versus failure.
Yeah.
It acknowledges that things don't always go according to plan, and that's okay.
Right. It removes the judgment.
Yeah.
It's just a data point.
Exactly.
Not a definition of our worth.
Absolutely. And I think one of the things I found fascinating was how these sources broke down the reasons why we fail. And it's not always about personal shortcomings. It's about setting unrealistic expectations.
Right.
Especially when we're trying to live up to those have-it-all ideals.
Oh, I can definitely relate to that.
Yeah.
And it makes me think of that one line from the articles,
Yeah.
we're not superhuman. We're human.
Right.
It's a good reminder that we can't do it all perfectly.
No.
All the time.
And sometimes it's not even about our own actions.
What do you mean?
Another source points out that external factors can lead to setbacks. It's completely outside our control.
Right.
Like a sudden economic downturn, a global pandemic. These things can impact anyone, regardless of their individual efforts.
Which can be so frustrating.
It is.
Because it feels so personal.
Yeah.
Even when it's not.
It does. It does.
Yeah. Like, why me?
Exactly. And I think that's why it's so crucial to understand the context of failure.
Yeah.
It helps us move away from self-blame and to see those setbacks in a more objective light.
It's not always about you.
It's not, yeah.
Sometimes it's just life happening.
Yeah. So failure happens.
It does.
And it's often more complex than we realize.
Right.
But the big question is, how do we pick ourselves up and move forward?
Because these sources are packed with practical advice.
They are.
On that front.
What really struck me, the first step to overcoming failure is actually counterintuitive.
What do you mean?
You have to acknowledge your feelings.
Oh.
Don't try to bury them or pretend that everything's okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
If we don't allow ourselves to feel the disappointment, the frustration, it's just going to fester.
It is. It is. One of the sources said, trying to be Superwoman is exhausting and unsustainable.
Right.
You're allowed to feel the weight of the setback.
Like Jill from one of the sources.
Oh, yeah.
Who failed her driving test and was absolutely devastated. Felt like a failure. Even though it's something that so many people go through.
Of course.
But talking to a friend who had a similar experience made her realize that it was okay to feel those emotions. And that actually helped her to move past them.
Such a good example of how simply acknowledging those difficult feelings can be so powerful.
It is.
It gives you permission to process them.
Right.
Instead of letting them bottle up, even more overwhelming.
So once we've acknowledged those feelings, where do we go from there? How do we actually start to reframe those experiences and move forward?
This is where it gets really interesting and where the sources offer some really powerful insights. One of the core themes is this idea of shifting our perspective. Seeing failure not as a dead end, but as a detour on the road to success.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
It's not a stop sign.
It's not.
It's a yield.
Exactly. And one of the sources even frames it as a learning opportunity.
Right.
It's about asking yourself, what can I learn from this experience? Instead of dwelling on the disappointment or the perceived failure, you shift your focus to extracting those valuable lessons that can actually help you grow.
Like Marie, whose story is featured in one of the sources. She missed a deadline for a big project and felt absolutely mortified.
Oh, no.
But instead of wallowing in self-pity, she took a step back and realized that she needed to work on her time management skills. So she started using a planner to stay organized, prioritize tasks.
Smart.
And it made a huge difference.
Good for her.
In her productivity.
That's a perfect example of how turning a perceived failure into a learning experience can actually set you up for greater success.
It's about learning to separate our identity from our setbacks.
Yes.
We are not our failures.
Right.
We are human beings.
Absolutely.
Who are constantly learning and evolving.
Speaking of evolving.
Yes.
One of the sources introduced a concept that I think is crucial for overcoming failure. It's called cultivating a growth mindset.
Okay, I've heard that term before.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm not sure I fully understand it.
Yeah.
Could you elaborate a bit more?
Absolutely. The opposite of a growth mindset is a fixed mindset. Where you believe your talents and abilities are set in stone. So when you encounter failure, it feels like confirmation that you're not good enough.
Ouch.
But with a growth mindset, you see challenges as opportunities to learn and stretch your abilities.
So instead of saying, I'm not good at this, you might say, I'm not good at this yet.
Exactly. And that subtle shift in perspective can make a huge difference.
Absolutely.
In how we approach challenges and setbacks.
Because it opens us up to the possibility of growth and improvement, even in the face of adversity.
It does.
So it's about embracing the journey.
Yes.
Even the messy parts. And seeing those stumbles as opportunities for learning.
Absolutely.
And growth.
But let's be honest,
Yeah.
that's easier said than done.
It is.
And that's why these sources offer some really practical strategies navigating those moments when failure feels overwhelming.
Yeah.
And those negative thoughts start creeping in.
Okay, tell me more, because I think we could all use a little help in that department.
One of the most common hurdles is silencing that inner critic.
Oh, tell me about it.
That voice in our heads.
Yeah.
That tells us we're not good enough or that we'll never succeed.
Oh, you know that voice all too well.
I think we all do.
It can be so loud.
It is.
And so mean.
And mean.
Like after a recent presentation that didn't go so well, I could barely sleep.
Yeah.
Because that voice was just replaying all the awkward moments, telling me I'd completely blown it.
That's so common.
Is it?
And one of the sources specifically addresses this, emphasizes the importance of recognizing those negative thought patterns, actively challenging them. It's about replacing those self-critical messages with more supportive, encouraging ones.
So instead of saying, I'm a failure, you might say, I'm learning and growing and I'll do better next time.
Exactly. It's about reframing those negative thoughts and choosing to focus on your progress, your strengths, and your potential.
One of the sources even recommends using affirmations.
Oh, yeah.
Which I've tried in the past.
Yeah.
With mixed results.
Yeah.
But honestly, sometimes it feels a bit cheesy.
I get that.
Doesn't it?
But I think the key is finding affirmations that resonate with you personally.
Right.
It's not about forcing yourself to believe something that feels inauthentic.
Right.
It's about choosing phrases that remind you of your values, your goals, and your inherent worth.
One of the sources shares the story of Rachel, who lost out on a promotion and was really struggling with self-doubt.
Yeah.
She started using affirmations like, I am capable and deserving, and I am learning and growing every day.
Love it.
And while she admitted it felt a little strange at first,
I bet.
She found that repeating those phrases regularly actually helped her shift her mindset.
That's great.
And regain her confidence.
It's almost like retraining your brain to focus on the positive rather than getting stuck in those negative thought loops.
Okay, so we've acknowledged our feelings.
Yes.
Learned from the experience. Started to quiet that inner critic.
Yeah.
What's the next step in this journey of bouncing back?
Well, one of the things that often trips us up after a setback is that feeling of being overwhelmed by the thought of starting over.
I know, it feels like a monumental task when our confidence is taking a hit.
Exactly. And that's why several of the sources emphasize the importance of setting small, achievable goals. It's about breaking down those big, overwhelming objectives into bite-sized steps.
I like that.
That feel manageable, less daunting.
So instead of focusing on climbing the entire mountain, you focus on taking that first step.
Exactly. And the beauty of this approach is it allows you to celebrate those small wins along the way. Each small victory builds momentum and reinforces that belief that you are capable of making progress even after a setback.
One of the sources specifically mentions the power of celebrating those wins.
Oh, yeah.
No matter how small they seem.
Yes, it's about acknowledging your progress.
Giving yourself credit for your efforts.
Like Mona, who after failing that job interview we talked about, set a goal to practice answering common interview questions every day.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't about landing the next big role. It was about feeling more prepared and confident in her abilities.
That's great.
And guess what? Not only did it help her feel less anxious during subsequent interviews, but she actually ended up getting an even better offer.
Really?
A few months later.
It's about focusing on what you can control, putting in the effort, and trusting the process.
Okay, so we're starting to see a pattern here.
Yes.
It's about shifting our mindset, focusing on what we can control, and taking those small steps forward.
Exactly. And there's one more crucial element to bouncing back from failure.
That's woven throughout all these sources.
Tell me.
It's the power of connection.
Oh, yeah.
Having a support system you can lean on when things get tough.
That is so important.
It is.
Because let's be honest, sometimes we just need to vent to someone who gets it.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Who can offer a listening ear And a shoulder to cry on.
And it's not just about emotional support.
Yeah.
It's about having people who believe in you.
Yes.
Who can offer encouragement and perspective when you're struggling to see it yourself.
Absolutely.
One of the sources talks about the importance of finding your tribe, a group of people who understand your journey, can offer support and guidance along the way.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be a formal group either.
Yeah.
It could be a close friend,
Yeah.
a family member, a mentor, or even an online community, like-minded women who are going through similar experiences.
Like Jill, who, after a really difficult personal setback, joined a women's support group.
Okay.
And found so much solace.
I bet.
In connecting with other women who'd have been through similar challenges. And she said it was like having a team of cheerleaders.
Oh, I love that.
In her corner, reminding her of her strength and resilience.
It's a powerful reminder. Don't have to go through this alone.
Absolutely.
There's strength in sharing our experiences, supporting each other along the way. As we were just talking about, you know, that power of connection and support systems, one of the sources actually dives into the science behind resilience. It turns out it's not just some magical quality you either have or you don't.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's something that we can actually learn and develop.
Exactly.
Tell me more about that.
One study mentioned in the sources found that resilience is built through a combination of factors, including our genetics, our early childhood experiences, and most importantly, our learned coping mechanisms.
So even if we didn't have the most supportive upbringing or challenges in the past, we can still develop those skills.
Absolutely.
And strengthen our resilience.
And that's what's so empowering about this research.
Right.
It's not about being born with a tough personality or having a charmed life.
It's about developing those inner resources and strategies that help us navigate adversity.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this ties together.
Yeah.
It's like building a mental and emotional toolkit for dealing with life's inevitable curveballs.
Yeah.
But where do we even begin?
Right.
What are some of those practical strategies for building resilience that these sources highlight?
Well, one of the most fundamental, and we've touched on this a bit already, is cultivating a growth mindset.
Right.
It's about shifting our perspective from seeing challenges as threats to seeing them as opportunities for learning and growth.
It's about embracing that yet mentality. I may not be where I want to be yet, but I'm learning and growing every day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And one of the sources specifically highlights the importance of reframing negative self-talk.
Oh, yeah.
Recognizing those limiting beliefs that pop up after a setback.
Right.
Actively challenging them with more positive and empowering thoughts.
So instead of saying, I'm such a failure,
right.
you might say, didn't go as planned, but I'm going to learn from it and do better next time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Shifting the focus from self-blame to problem solving.
Right.
It's a skill that takes practice, but over time it can really change how you respond to challenges and setbacks.
Okay, so growth mindset.
Yeah.
Reframing negative self-talk. Those are two key strategies.
Yeah.
What else?
Another important aspect, learning to manage stress effectively.
Stress, oh yeah.
Because when we're feeling overwhelmed and stressed out, it's much harder to think clearly, make rational decisions.
That's so true.
Yeah.
When I'm stressed, I tend to spiral, overthinking everything.
Yeah.
Imagining the worst case scenarios.
The common response.
It is.
And one of the sources actually provides some practical tips for managing stress.
Okay, like what?
Like incorporating mindfulness techniques into your daily routine.
Right.
Prioritizing self-care activities that help you de-stress. And setting boundaries to protect your time and energy.
I think for a lot of women, setting boundaries can be particularly challenging.
I agree.
We're often conditioned to be people pleasers, put everyone else's needs before our own.
One of the sources addresses that directly.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it talks about the importance of recognizing our own limits and communicating those.
It's not about being selfish.
It's not, no.
It's about protecting our well-being so that we can show up as our best selves for the people and things that matter most.
So managing stress is crucial. What other strategies? Powerful tool is focusing on our locus of control. This ties in really nicely with the idea of taking action moving forward, even when things feel challenging.
You mentioned that term earlier.
I did.
Can you remind me what it means?
Sure. Locus of control refers to the extent to which we believe we have control over our own lives and circumstances. People with an internal locus of control believe that their actions and choices have a significant impact on their outcomes, while people with an external locus of control believe that lives are largely determined by external factors, like luck or fate.
So it's about recognizing the difference between what we can control and what we can't.
Exactly.
And focusing our energy on the things we can influence.
One of the sources recommended creating a list of things you can control, things you can't control.
And then consciously shifting your focus to those areas where you can take action and make a difference.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to get caught up in worrying about things
it is.
You can't change.
Which just leads to more stress and anxiety.
And when we focus on our locus of control, it empowers us to take ownership of our lives, choices, even in the face of adversity.
It's about recognizing. We may not be able to control every outcome. But we can control how we respond to those outcomes.
Okay, so we've got growth mindset, managing stress, focusing on our locus of control.
Okay, what else?
One of the most powerful strategies for building resilience is practicing gratitude. It's about intentionally shifting our attention to the things we're grateful for.
Even in the midst of challenges and setbacks.
I've definitely noticed when I take the time to appreciate the good things, it shifts my perspective, makes me feel more grounded, less overwhelmed.
Absolutely.
And there's actually a growing body of research that supports the benefits of gratitude. Studies have shown practicing gratitude regularly can reduce stress, improve sleep, boost happiness levels, even strengthen our immune system.
That's amazing.
It is.
It sounds like a really simple yet incredibly powerful tool for overall well-being.
One of the sources suggested creating a daily gratitude journal where you just write down what you're grateful for each day. Or simply taking a few minutes each morning to reflect on things you appreciate.
I love that idea. Daily dose of positivity.
It is.
Can help to set the tone for the day.
And another strategy that can be incredibly helpful is surrounding ourselves with beauty and inspiration. Whether it's listening to our favorite music, spending time in nature, reading uplifting books, or connecting with people who inspire us.
I think that's so important.
It is.
Especially when we're going through tough times. Those moments of beauty and inspiration can help us recharge and reconnect with our inner strength.
One of the sources actually suggested creating a beauty and inspiration board. Where you collect images, quotes, or objects that uplift you and bring you joy.
I love that. Creating a visual reminder of the things that make life worth living, even when things feel challenging.
And those reminders can be so powerful in helping us maintain a positive outlook. Stay motivated on our journey. So we've talked about a lot of different strategies for building resilience. Growth mindset, managing stress, focusing on our locus of control, practicing gratitude, surrounding ourselves with beauty and inspiration.
But sometimes, even with all those tools, it can still feel hard to take action, move forward after a setback.
That's where self-compassion comes in. Sometimes the most important thing we can do when we're struggling is to be kind to ourselves.
That's a really good point. Because it's easy to get caught up in self-criticism and judgment. Things don't go our way.
One of the sources suggested treating ourselves with the same kindness and understanding we would offer a close friend who's going through a difficult time.
I think that's a really valuable perspective shift. It's easy to forget that we're all human. We all make mistakes.
We do.
And we all deserve compassion.
We do.
Especially from ourselves.
And self-compassion doesn't mean making excuses for our mistakes. Or letting ourselves off the hook.
It's about recognizing that we're doing the best we can. With the resources we have in that moment. And that sometimes our best isn't always going to be perfect.
And that's okay.
And that's okay.
It's about giving ourselves permission
Right.
to be imperfect, to learn and grow from our mistakes.
Right.
Keep moving forward with kindness and understanding.
One of the most powerful ways
Yeah.
to cultivate self-compassion is through practicing mindfulness.
It is, yes.
Paying attention to our thoughts and feelings without judgment.
Yes.
Simply observing them with curiosity and acceptance.
I've dabbled in mindfulness in the past, but I've always struggled to make it a consistent practice.
Right. Did the sources offer any tips
They do.
for incorporating mindfulness into our daily lives?
One of the sources recommended starting small, perhaps just a few minutes of mindful breathing or meditation each day.
Okay.
There are tons of great apps
Oh, yeah.
and online resources that offer guided meditations for beginners.
That's a great tip.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes people get intimidated by the idea of mindfulness.
I think so too.
Like it has to be the big formal practice.
Right.
But really, it can be as simple as
Yeah.
taking a few minutes to focus on our breath and observe our thoughts and feelings without judgment.
Exactly. Even those small moments of mindfulness, big impact on our overall well-being.
As we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
it's striking me how much power we actually have when it comes to reframing failure.
Right.
It's not about erasing it.
Yeah.
It's about shifting how we view it, using it as fuel for growth.
One of the sources puts it this way.
Okay.
It says, failure doesn't define you. It's an invitation to learn, adapt, and become even stronger.
That is such a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
It does. It takes the sting out of it.
It does.
Like, okay, this happened.
Yeah.
What can I learn from it?
Right.
How can I use this to move forward?
Exactly.
Embrace the journey, all its twists and turns, recognizing that those detours often lead to those unexpected opportunities.
So for anyone listening who's maybe feeling the weight of a recent setback, doubting themselves or their abilities,
what's the one message you want them to take away?
you are not alone.
That's so important.
It is.
You are not alone.
We all face challenges. We all make mistakes. All have the power
Right.
to rise above those experiences.
Yes.
And create a brighter future.
It's a reminder that failure is a universal experience and that there's strength
Yes.
in sharing those experiences and supporting each other.
One of the sources reminds us
Yeah.
that sometimes those setbacks are actual blessings in disguise,
Interesting.
redirecting us toward a path that's even more aligned with our true
Okay.
purpose and potential.
That is inspiring.
Yeah.
Trust the process, even when it feels messy.
Right.
Right.
There's often something bigger and better waiting on the other side.
So embrace the journey. Learn from your experiences.
Keep moving forward
Absolutely.
with courage and determination.
And remember, you have a community here to support you
Yes.
every step of the way. Share your insights in the comments below.
Your story might just inspire someone else
Right.
who's going through something similar.
And if you found this deep dive helpful,
Yes.
be sure to subscribe for more empowering conversations and insights
Yes.
designed to help you navigate the complexities of life
Absolutely.
and achieve your full potential. We encourage you to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might also find it valuable.
Until next time, keep learning
Keep growing.
and keep shining.
Until next time, take care.